Hello everybody, my name's Ryan and I'm a driving instructor, and today, why can't I get a driving lesson? Today is why can't I get a driving lesson? Well, first of all, like, comment and subscribe, and you want to become a member, see the content early. Why can't I get a driving lesson? Well, I've spoken to lots of driving instructors over the last few weeks, and they all tell me exactly the same thing. The waiting time for a driving lesson is about 8 to 10 weeks, including me, and I do auto. And the reason for it is because we're hanging on to pupils too long. Because we've got to wait for pupils to pass driving tests before we get available space to add new people. That's quite logical, you would think. So why can't we get anybody? Well, basically because the test waiting times have increased again. So if I put young Jerry, hello Jerry, if I put young Jerry into a driving test after passing his theory, he's got to wait until November for a driving test. So if he's got to wait till November for a driving test, then I can't take anybody new on, even though potentially you might be test ready by, say, mid-September, until November. That means I've still got to give him lessons every week. That's occupying somebody's space. Because if he stops driving, if he takes an extended break and then goes back to it, there's a fair chance that he might not pass. This then increases the costs, which, of course, has happened. What also happens is the price of the driving lessons have gone up. It's not because driving instructors have suddenly become super greedy and want huge battery electric cars that cost 50,000 quid. It's got nothing to do with that. It's all to do with simple economics, that everything's gone up in price. That they're not trying to outprice people, and there isn't really a price war at all, and there just simply isn't enough lesson space available throughout all the driving instructors. So you might be wondering, why is it taking me forever to get a driving lesson? Well, that's really simple, because there isn't enough instructors. So if there's not enough instructors, not enough driving tests, then there's a delay and everything gets delayed. And yeah, there's another motivator that I read this week about, that they were considering increasing the cost of tests depending on how many tests you've taken. So say, for example, if you did the first one 62 and the second one you'd gone on and you had to go and do a second one that was a 5 or more, and the third one was a 5 or more again, and so on and so forth. We know people fail. People fail even though they might have had the best training in the world. You'll always get that car that screws somebody up somewhere. So you can't guarantee that everybody will pass first time, even though the government seem to think that's the thing. You'll always have somebody that takes 5 goes. You'll always have somebody that goes once and passes with 3 minors. You always get somebody that takes 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 goes. So you'll always get that weight. You'll always get people that won't pass first time. This is just a penalising system. You've probably read at the side of here that report. Absolute load of rubbish. So what happens then? Well, not a lot. Can't really create space if I'm doing 40 plus hours a week. If I did 60 hours a week, I'm pretty sure after a couple of years I'll be burnt out and I would never be a driving instructor, which I like doing. I like being a driving instructor. It's going to affect my performance. Can you imagine going out 8 o'clock in the morning and concentrating on driving, but you're not driving, you're looking after somebody. You're driving for somebody else. You're being somebody else's brain during driving. Effectively, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. You'd be pretty tired after it. And that's not including the travel time for different people's houses. You can soon get burnt out and tired just by overworking. And it's not that you want to overwork, you're providing a service to somebody who wants to learn to drive at the end of the day. You're providing that service to them because that's what they want. But you can't add any more people because there isn't physically enough time to do it. So surely just train more driving instructors. If it was that easy, it would be. Except there's a huge backlog for them tests as well, because, I don't know if you know, approved driving instructors, they go through this training scheme where you do a theory test, a practical driving test, and then a standard check. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. Part 2 tests, the practical driving test, the extended driving tests, they're taking forever to get. I know this because we've got a trainee that wants to go and do one and we can't get him a driving test. Can't do much. If we've got literally one person there, I want to be a driving instructor, right? Well, let's get your badge, let's go and get this sorted out for you. Let's at least get you on trainees and let's make sure you're doing all the right training. And can't, because you can't get a Part 2. So, is this still the DVSA? Yeah, absolutely. Is this a problem? Yes. How is it curable? I don't really know anymore. Chucking people at it. It seemed to work earlier on in the year, but now we're almost at the end of July and we're finding out that the waiting times have significantly increased again. That's why you can't get a driving instructor, because they're hanging on to people. They're hanging on to people until they do the driving test, and then there's no guarantee that that test pass will happen. I haven't got a crystal ball. Wish I did. That'd be interesting. How do you feel about all of this? Do you feel that there's something wrong fundamentally with the system? Do you think that something needs to change? What needs to change? Tell me. You tell me, because I think we're finding out that we're all clueless now. I'm really interested to know how you feel that this can be fixed, this waiting time for driving tests, because ultimately that's the reason why people are struggling to find driving lessons. Maybe you can tell me. Average price driving lessons in and around my area now is between 37 and 42 per hour. Like I say, it's not people being greedy. That's just because what it is. 6 years ago, it was 28. Inflation, price rises, cost of insurance. Fuel's been about the same for the last 10 years. It going up and we came back down again, but ultimately, it's the basic cost of these things that we travel around in, servicing, tyres, oil, all sorts of things. I plan to replace this at some point. Just had it all serviced, brake pads, wheels, tyres, oil change. Had all that done. Cost me a few quid, got it done. Because it's my car. Cost me a few quid, so I've got to pass that on to somebody, because I don't get paid any other way. Don't take any holidays or anything. Well, I do take holidays, don't get paid for them. Self-employed. Tell me what you think about not being able to get a driving instructor. There'll be some people out there, I've been waiting for months and months and months. I went to XYZ company and they promised me a driving instructor and it hasn't happened. 41,000 badges on the road, allegedly, but we already know that probably quite a lot of them are due for renewal this year and they won't be renewed. Probably as many as 5,000 to 6,000 because they were COVID badges. Basically, they were reissued 2019, 2020, just before COVID hit. They're all coming up now, 5-year renewal. That 5-year renewal, I bet there's quite a few that have gone off the road. Bet they've gone to drive for TNT or Amazon or something. I bet they've left. I bet they've gone to be bus drivers or something, even though the wages are crap. Tell us what you think. I'm always asking that, but if you like what you saw, comment, like, subscribe. Tell us how you feel. I've no idea what's going to happen next. All I know is that I've got a backlog and so has everybody else. See you for now. Bye.